not look away. About to crash into my face. Just another day on the shelf. Pull me from my silhouette. Years we've been astray. Now a broken shell remains. I cannot embrace what I regret. Round and round, around I go. The spinning makes me ill. An image held inside the very world I build. Please help me now, 'cause I can't even feel enough to know if I get out. I'm numb to the pain, but hollow without. Floating in a world of glass, I can imitate. Got a smile worth its weight when the mirror breaks. Will someone ask? Round and round, around I go. The spinning makes me ill. A hostage held inside the very world I build. Please help me now, 'cause I can't even feel enough to know if I get out. Will I allow another friend to try and help and fail on my account? I'm numb to the pain and hollow without.
Boom. Surprise. The timer isn't over, but we have arrived. I'm Fuffy. My co-commentator here is Mr. Cool. How's it going, Mr. Cool?
Oh, just lovely. Ready for a nice game of Nuke right now.
Oh, I'm so ready for that. And of course, on the production observing is Lepuki. I can never I always crack a little smile every time I say Lepuki, aka Quattro, aka the person who's going to win more games for our AVI Premier team. But it's not about Premier, it's not about AVI, it's about Prospect, and it's about the deadbeat Spectral Sentries taking on What Do You Beef's Brisket Bombers in a head-to-head that, before we went live, we were talking about how these two teams are pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, especially with that matchup we saw with Worms and Brisket Bombers on Nuke last night. It's definitely a surprise we're coming into a Nuke pick here. But
Mhm.
should be a close game. Good game to watch.
Yeah, the other night that was a loss for the Brisket Bombers, but it was close, right? 13-11.
Yeah, absolutely close. Brisket Bombers started off on T side. They had a little bit of a rough start. I think the half ended at I want to say 7-4, but they clawed their way back on CT side. They brought it from a 12-7 game into a 11-13 game. So
So
I'm
close,
excited.
but hopefully for any cow fans out there, they want to get a win here on Nuke tonight. Well, the Spectral Sentries, they've already got one Nuke win under their belt. They're 1-1 on the map. So this is something that's relatively comfortable for both teams. It makes sense that we would go to Nuke. Nothing shocking in the map veto, even though we were both crossing our fingers hoping for Train. But alas, we have Nuke, and we
Getting
have Brisket Bombers have elected to start on the CT side.
Yep.
I do believe, which would mean that it's on the Spectral Sentries to figure out what they're going to bring to the table. A little bit of util bot up. That's going to be a top hut molly coming down, and they are just running straight out. Pander drops an HE, but cannot stop them from escaping the hut. So the T's are all over the site, but they just can't find the player. One age event to heaven. And finally, the frags come through.
Last player left in mid, 4 players still up, 3 players still up on the T side, but that's a great round coming in from DB. You love to see that early aggression.
There was a moment where nobody was dying on the site, and it could have swung either way, and then instantly, boom, 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 headshots across the board. Spectral Sentries get the frags required.
Almost a very dangerous play in Asia.
That player lived for so long, and I was like, oh no. If they don't have the Asia player, then how are they going to stop the Heaven players? And their answer was to just shoot them. Now, smartly, there's many players lobby, so they avoid this nade stack. Gillionaire just spots it from far back, gonna drop a molly to try and dissuade them from pushing. There's already one up close. That's Honey Biscuit, who's been a standout, actually, for this Brisket Bomber side. Of course, this round just on the USPs. You wouldn't expect too much. Elfoy bots him out. And they should be able to defend this bomb plant, given their upgraded weapons.
Cow hoping to get a couple of picks out here, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. DB very disciplined, holding for that save round, making sure they got the intel. They're staying grouped, but just not much you can do there if you're Brisket Bombers.
I'm very curious at what they elect to do next round. That's when the guns come out. That's when it's going to be important. And they want to get their CT half started out right, because, I mean, you were mentioning how for the Brisket Bombers, it was a close loss on Nuke, but one where they brought it back on the CT side. So their CT side, theoretically, and based on how Nuke usually plays out, should be their stronger side.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we saw last night, but you know how it goes in CS. Could change at the drop of a hat. You know, DB's coming in, or not DB, excuse me. Cow's coming in with a little bit of a force buy here. Pico's not quite where they wanted it to be. We got 4 MP9s
This is the
coming
Furia buy. It's crazy that they have full util, because if they're going for something aggressive with MP9s, you don't want to lose your whole belt in util on a push. Either way.
Very passive setup coming in from Cow here. Still not really fighting for outside. Still not really fighting for ramp. Playing a lot of these off angles that we were seeing last night with Honey Biscuit playing.
They're loving lobby, and now they flash into ramp 1 for 1 for Honey Biscuit, but Cool Guy's got the trade. Fellow star player here for the Sentries. And now with this ramp control, they're going to bring that bomb in towards B, but Gabe's Bongo has gotten a little bit of a flank going. They've double pushed lobby to get behind them. And so the timing for the T's is... Oh, it favors them because both of them get frags. The ramp player and the player holding that vent rotation, each with a pick. And so now these last 2 people in ramp have to do it all. Pander's read correctly that there's one in this corner, spots out the shoulder and gets the spray. And now there's 2 more for them to find on site. Bomb already half ticked. Guy from the back, Mac 10 making it work, and Dr. Fury has the trade. Spectral Sentries, no worries about those MP9s, a 3rd round on the board.
Spectral Sentries are coming out with that pack mentality, and it's just working for them. You know, Brisket Bombers have to do something to get these rotations to come in a little bit faster or a little bit more coordinated.
It's difficult, but with an MP9, you just can't go 1 for 1 on ramp there.
No, absolutely not.
It's, I mean, and it's not really Honey Biscuit's fault for just getting 1. You have an MP9, how are you going to spray them all? But at the same time, you've got to be able to drop back, live, play time, something. This round, they're going to play aggressive, up in their face, straight through ramp. Spectral Sentries, again, they love lobby, and this time they're coming out A. Fast flank from Honey Biscuit will catch him. Oh, this is where you got to worry about his SMGs and pistols up close. And the rifles are shredded.
It's a beautiful bit of aggression from CT side. I was saying it last night, but Nuke is a map of intel and rotations. You got to push somewhere, peek somewhere, get that intel so you can get your rotates moving in quick. And I got to say, Cow did a beautiful job of it that round.
I wonder if Spectral Sentries are are going to slow down now and try to play more of a default to counteract those aggressive pushes. Or if they've got a different set strat, maybe a look outside now, as it's just Cool Guy dipping into lobby as the rest of the players drop some smokes to throw the outside wall. And they're going to meet Luke's here, who is up close with an M4 flashed and fragged. Great job from Kelfroy. Kelfroy is still mollied off, though. They blow open the smoke, confirm that no one has gotten across. But at the same time, Cool Guy's lobby lurk has paid off.
But not quite. Gabe comes in with the pick, peeks through lobby, sees nothing's there. They know they're outside now.
Yeah. That being said, it's a man disadvantage for the Brisket Bombers, so they have to spread their resources thin. Gabe committing to the top hut, worried about that heaven wrap. And so it means that lobby can be re-cleared for free here by the Spectral Sentries.
We got Joe clearing out Squeaky. Looks like he's going to go get ready for an A hit. Got someone coming in through mini. Only one player on site right now holding top hut.
They've got a player in mini too, but that player makes first contact with everyone, and so it's just a quick double kill and another bomb plant for this T side that is looking really confident at the start.
They're showing a lot of pack mentality, and Cow's definitely having a hard time keeping up with it. You know, you'd like to see him playing a little bit tighter in this round, playing a little bit more for retakes in the 3v4, but not much you can do now. You got to save that up, keep that eco with you.
And there weren't too many mistakes here for the Brisket Bombers. It was just they lost the opening pick outside, and then from then on they just went 1 for 1, 1 for 1, 1 for 1. And the T's made a smart choice just to group up and pop out.
Yeah, they've been showing that pack mentality this entire half so far. So, Brisket Bombers has to start speeding up those rotates. So we will see an AWP coming into this round for the CTs, but will they force around it? They look like they could have the eco, but they will be spread thin.
Gabe has so much money. Luke's could get dropped by Gabe to at least get like a FAMAS on the board or an MP9. Everyone else has a buy-in, so they're going to go ahead and go for it.
Still no AWP coming in for DB either.
I mean, T-side, they're sort of playing up close and personal. It makes sense if you're getting the opening pick this way. You might as well keep at it. This time, they go for a much more spread default. Again, just holding, trying to punish the Brisket Bombers for getting over-aggressive. And the Brisket Bombers, they're going to play back more. They don't want to give up an opening on that side. Instead, just lobbing some util in. And it's Joe to be the tip of the spear here for this Sentries attack. That drop is going to be heard. They know that Fury is on top mini. But what can they do about it? It's just an MP9. All the way back outside a garage.
Great space taken here from Kelfroy. Already all the way up towards me. Isolating that garage player. Trying to force this fight.
The issue is they have a lot of space, but there's so many eyes on them. If they want to cross this final bit, they're going to have to run into the AWP. They're going to have to run into Hamlet and Mini, who gets a nice double kill. Now all the Luke's has to do is survive, and the rest of these Sentries players are stuck between a rock and a hard place. The ops are field as well, and they just back up, concede outside, and take some damage for their troubles. Finally, Joe adjusts to kill that MP9. A bit overzealous, perhaps, for a player back garage to peek outside with an MP9.
Yeah, but at some point, you got to just take into account the disadvantage that DB's on. 2v4 going into this. Yeah, they're trying to make something work through Squeak. You got the smoke out, trying to take it down vent. That's huge. Nobody's on B site.
Yeah, because they never got a cross secret, no one dropped down, and so now they at least have a bomb plant, which is a great spot to be in. Joe gonna be up close and personal here towards ramp. Here's that scope, calls it out. Cool Guy with the first tap, damage even more. This round is very doable. These three CTs have to coordinate the retake. Pandrew just waiting for their teammates to get into position. Drops a molly, it's gonna miss. Cool Guy can just tuck into these boxes. Joe tucked into dark. They've almost got a bit of a crossfire, especially now that Cool Guy has two more. On for the 4K, Cool Guy has turned this entire round around. Just one player left to find, and of course, Cool Guy locks it in.
Pulling it out of his back pocket. Cool Guy making a round from absolutely nothing there. That's got to be a heartbreaking round for Brisket Bombers.
it's so tough because they did everything right, and then they just lost the duels to Cool Guy. What
Yeah,
a great play.
sometimes the other team's just having a good day. And
Mhm.
Cool Guy going absolutely crazy right now. 11-4. Looks
Well,
like we're still sticking to that DB passive default to start this round. Outside smokes come in.
yeah. They
We
do bring
do
out an op this time. The lower buy from the Brisket Bombers. They're not trying something aggressive. Just waiting far back.
DB should know they're on an eco now that they heard that deagle spam. Still
They
playing
should.
very passive outside.
I mean, if I'm DB, this is where you just, as long as it's not a stack, you can group up and pick someone dead. Because the longer you wait, the more there can be some awkward timings. Joe finds that frag. A nade on top of Gabe is some good damage, but do they expect the player's secret? Krelfoy, eyes trained on it. But as they go to turn towards Mini, Gabe has a moment of timing, but not going to take it. Instead, this A crunch that comes through. Great couple of kills. Spectral Sentries. Another solid round. They're playing this default really well.
Absolutely. This is going about as good as you could hope for if you're DB right now. Now, they're not doing anything too special. They're defaulting out to start the rounds, but that pack mentality is paying off for them.
The question is, how can the Brisket Bombers adapt? And really, I think they need to pick something and take it away. Because right now, lobby control and outside control are taken for the Spectral Sentries. And, I mean, Brisket Bombers don't have much of a response. Gabe's got to be careful here. Might still die to the bomb. He's not playing far enough back. But either way, I feel like they need to either coordinate an outside push with enough people that is not just one guy that gets picked. Or coordinate something to, like, you know, double ramp and take it, or be more aggressive in towards that lobby side. Put an op on Squeaky to get a pick. Just anything to make the Sentries uncomfortable. Because right now they're just in their zone.
Absolutely. You know, if you sell off this map at the beginning of the round, you're just leaving too much open for those T's to take. You know, you got to push through ramp, especially here where they haven't been showing a lot of inside presence. Cool Guy has been the lurk consistently. They've had one other player playing in between T roof and lobby. So getting a double swing out through ramp could be a game changer. Get that early intel, get those rotates onto A site.
Double ramp or drop secret early and have an outside player, and they sort of double peek and take those fights. Use your HEs to blow the smoke so that Spectral Sentries can't be comfortable when they're walking up. Whatever it is, Brisket Bombers are probably talking about it in this freeze time, as now we're jumping into round 8. And a pivotal moment in the half if Brisket Bombers want to at least get a few rounds on the board here.
Absolutely. CT economy's looking pretty good, and we are doubling up ramp this time.
Okay, squeaky door blown. They drop a molly in front of it. And it's another slow play, but this time Spectral Sentries aren't going to throw anything towards outside. There's a player running up secret who will eventually confirm outside is clear, but that means that there is only one ramp, and so a 1-for-1 trade, not the best spot to be in, but at least they have a player down B. Joe, in the meanwhile, though, has picked Hamlet. Oh, no.
Hander in a 1v1 with Cool Guy right here. Make that a 2v1 now that Joe's gotten on the ramp. Mollied out. This is starting to look like not that much of a doable round.
Yeah. The one X factor here is that Honey Biscuit might have a timing that they don't expect, but only now
that
opens
audio
that
cue.
squeaky door. Yeah. I mean, you've gotta do something now. Makes contact onto the dark player. There's a molly to flush them out of dark. Didn't go deep enough. Unfortunate, but Joe not adjusting in time. Gabe's pick has brought them back into the round. They know that one player is stuck towards the dark. The other one up towards the clock, going to be fragged out, and Brisket Bombers make their way back in with just enough time.
What a retake.
That, spotting the player towards dark, and then the pick onto the clock player, not letting them get anything, is perfect. Because if we have another Mr. Cool Guy from backside gets a multi, there's no coming back from that.
No, absolutely, and especially now where you're down 2-6, you need to start preserving that eco. So CT is saving two rifles and an AWP, excuse me. That's a, or no, 3 rifles. Sorry, that's huge on your CT half.
They were reaching for the op, but arm's not long enough. Fast A. Spectral Sentries pick up the pace, just running out in Krelfoy, an instant headshot. Hamlet's utility's done well to get one, and that flash, oh that flash, it means that Gabe's still alive in the site. They're planning, but they don't realize it, and finally Gabe goes down, but it's made it possible for the Brisket Bombers. 2-on-2, bomb still has to get planted. They're gonna plant towards heaven. Well, Fury holds for it, but that gives it timing for these players to come in towards Mini. Hamlet and Honeyed Biscuit. The smoke dropped in their face, but they're gonna disrespect it. Walking on forward, know that one is backside, and the other player, Fury, that unknown X Factor towards Hut, spots the player walking close, looks away, but flicks back in time, and Gillionaire has the other.
That's a really tough retake to do, but if there's a little bit more coordination there, they might have been able to squeak that one out. But
Drop your
again,
smoke on Squeaky, do something, because they're clearing too many different angles at once. One player's looking backside, one player's looking Squeaky. They're not covering each other.
in those 2v2s, you just got to be hip, lock, and step. You know, hope that one's on site and one's in lobby, and trade out with your teammate. But on to the next round, looking like we're going to get a full buy coming in from both teams. CT Eco is spread a bit thin, not much util to go around.
Joseph going for the pick this time. Door blown again. No one gonna give him the peek. Hamlet outside. Here's this player running the cross. A nade dropped his damage, but they've already gotten down. Honey. Oh, do you expect the timing? Still pulls the gun out. Just quick enough, and now dropping back to lock down secret. Finally, there are CTs to stop this T approach, but not for long because Gillionaire, with a beautiful little shot, opens up the avenue into the B site, or maybe even up vent. They're going to walk up and join with Joe, and Gabe is already close towards this. Does Gabe hear it when they run up? Does Gabe react in time?
Very strong position, but also a difficult situation for
Oh,
DMD,
Hamlet's
and
going to piece this
Hamlet-
one together. Hamlet's out behind, but Gabe is up close, and 2 quick headshots. It's only Joe on the site. No bomb collected. Another player comes up, hits the first shot, though. Knows that one is stuck close vent. Running around with a Glock. Knife out, but Joe wins the clutch!
Oh, if you're Pander, you want that round back in the worst way.
How? How does Joe do that? Glock in the face. Getting stabbed, but just enough bullets, just enough HP to hold on.
That's a play their grandkids will hear about for sure. You know, and Brisket has to come in with a tactical timeout, figure out what they
Yeah.
want to do here. We got 2 rounds left. Are we going to try to force it and get another buy on the final, or are we going to save here and try to go for a full buy last round, bring it back to a 3-9?
Genuinely, I don't think 3-9 is enough. They got to go for it now and hope to get 2.
Absolutely. At this point, it's an uphill battle from here on out. You know, 2 more rounds of CT side. No matter what, you're going into T side in a deficit. No team wants to be in that position on Nuke.
Yeah. Hey, not too many choices. Spectral Sentry's gonna make them think about it. Taking a time out of their own.
Yeah, I can't imagine DB has too much to talk about here other than CT Eco.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hey guys, let's do one of those strats that's been working. Oh, you mean all the strats? Yeah.
Yeah, every round. You know, even on those 2 rounds that Brisket Bombers won, I think they were both retakes after a plant, so DB has just had full control of this game so far.
Well, 4 rounds is better than nothing. That's all that they can really hope for.
Absolutely. It's not over by any means, but definitely going to be an uphill battle. Seen another outside wall coming in from DB. Joe back outside the jump. Going into a passive default again. Honey Biscuit taking Africa control. This is some aggressive outside play coming in from Brisket Bombers.
I like this because I don't think Joe's going to expect it. And it's going to net them enough info that then they can stack more towards this A site. Yeah, Joe clears, but not deep enough. That player's going to get Spotted, tagged. Oh no, Honeyed. Might have just pulled the trigger a bit too quickly. Joe now jiggling and quick scopes it. Of course, Joe put them in a difficult spot. And the op flick pulls them back out of it. Any info that Honey Biscuit has gained is now swiftly lost. And the Brisket Bombers have to come back from a disadvantage. The guy walking ramp makes contact, but got that frag, and they decide to push up forward, but that just puts them right into the crosshairs of these additional Ts.
Yeah, especially at the man disadvantage. You don't want to be giving up aggro, but Gabe coming in with another big pick into lobby. Let's see if they can get back down onto B site.
Gabe has been a shining light here for the Brisket Bombers, 14 and 7. Finding frags, even if it's difficult for them to find rounds, but I mean, now at this point, as that door is going to open, they're mollied off. Just gonna save what you have. Next round's the last, so
Not much health to work with either. Gabe on 24, Hamlet on 100. And it looks like they are going to be saving. I don't know if Gabe's going to live here.
Terrorists win.
2 health, very close.
this is now the
DBs.
point where I think Cow's gonna just do something crazy. Anything. Say screw it, last round.
Yeah, I'd love to see a lobby crunch. DB has been setting up in these very passive defaults or very aggressive site hits. So, either way, I'd like to see that lobby crunch. Looks like we're going to be setting up into another passive default for DB. Oh, God, getting the pick through. Oh my gosh.
What a shot. Just walks out. Quick little adjustment to the head. So much awareness. And when you have players that can do that, I mean, now it's just play out the round like normal. Let Cool Guy work. The rest of the team group up. And I mean, Cool Guy sure is working. Flash dropped in front. Ender up close with the MP9. Looks just surprised, but of course Cool Guy still flicks to the head. A third player. Why not, Cool Guy? Just keep going. This guy is so damn cool, but right now he's on a hot streak. 3 frags into the site. Saying, guys, give me my ace. They're gonna plant bomb.
Blank outside from Heaven on Gillionaire, leaving Honey Biscuit alone in a 1v5. Going for that pick through, Mini throws his nade. As Joe come in with the frag to close out the half.
10-2. Great work from the Spectral Sentries. This DB side just, I mean, yes, Cool Guy's getting some amazing frags. Yes, Cow might have gotten a few more rounds if Cool Guy didn't pop off like that, but this is a team effort. They've done so well round after round, and now all they got to do to close it is get 3 more. This pistol, or at least the second round conversion, a must-win for Cow if they want to stay alive. And so let's see what they've got here on their T side.
Yeah, you know, this was really a make or break round for Brisket Bombers here. They need this round and the conversion to really stay in this game. So we'll see what they do. Hopefully they can make up this difference.
I do want to say one interesting thing that I learned about Cool Guy, because I was playing with Cool Guy for a bit, and he talked about how he upgraded his computer parts, and I'm not saying it's just about the hardware, but this guy's popping off now. Okay, on the grind, working hard.
Especially on CS2, those frames matter.
Ooh, interesting rotate. Cool Guy drops down after making contact, and Fury comes in, so I don't know if they will expect the fact that Cool Guy is already on this B site. Though they're just looking to get entrenched in ramp. 2 Ts here waiting, they're playing it slow, looking for over-aggression. The Spectral Sentries don't really have to move. They know that B site is clear. They have someone to watch Hell. That's Joe now. And they've got a few players towards A. Gillionaire hears that door open, closes it right back up. Now they finally make contact. Krelfoy's got another pick, and fight after fight, it just falls into place perfectly for the Spectral Sentries. Gabe activates out Hell, but I mean, doesn't matter when the rest of the team has fallen.
1v4 here. It's not looking good for Cow right now. Cool guy in the 1v1 taking off the suppressor.
Letting
and he
it
gets
bark.
pick.
Oh, cool guy just showing off at this point.
I hope that was a misclick.
But what? Yeah. But at that point, just disable taking it off. You know? That's all I'm saying.
You know, at this point, Brisket Bombers have to come in with a force buy here. They're playing for
Yeah.
all or nothing.
And
Let's
they've
see if
got
they
a
get some live
revolver.
aggression. Hey, the sheriff's in town. That R8 could make a difference.
Let's see. It's the first of the outside wall landing, but no second speed coming down. So Krelfoy is going to fight around it, gets flashed in. Nice little pick there. Being hounded down by the player above. Finally going to be chased down, but not fragged actually. Somehow almost escapes.
The R8 does its work. Pander coming in with a pick from top mark on the Kelfroy.
Oh, but there's a push. They're just not respecting them. DB doesn't care. DB says, okay, you're going to wait. You're going to play slow. We're going to pick up the pace. Foot on the gas. And instant flank.
12-2. No eco really left to speak of on the Brisket Bombers side, you know. DB has been showing out with Domination Nation tonight. No
Yeah.
other way you can put it.
Next few rounds are to save their ego. The next few rounds are to say they made it close. And then maybe we can talk about overtime. But it's a long, long ways away. And I mean, all they can do is take it round by round, grouping towards ramp. A simple play, but given that they're on a weaker buy, it's read here well by DB, who put, again, 2 players towards ramp, playing up close on the smoke. If anyone wants to run through it, wants to disrespect it, they're not going to be given anything. But if there's one shining light for the Bombers, it has Bongo, who quickly adjusts to the first one, and Honey Biscuit has the trade. Double ramp setup is dismantled, and hopes of at least a bomb plant for the Brisket Bombers, though Fury is already down single.
Turning this into a 3v4 favoring the Brisket Bombers. We'll see if Dr. Crane can do anything to slow this down. Kelfroy with a huge pick.
Just straight out of those double doors. Dr. Fury now is going to frag. Ralfoy, yeah, can't handle the Galil, and now it's just Gillionaire. I say just because it's a 1v2 with the gun advantage. Health advantage. One of these players has a deagle, but that deagle hits a headshot. Hamlet gets him 1T round.
Brisket Bombers needed that round. Let's see if they can start snowballing some of that momentum. CT Eco's not looking too healthy either. They are going to have to force in a buy. 2 players aren't going to be able to afford next.
They can afford to force here and save the next, though. They've got enough rounds to play with that keep the pressure up now while your opponents just have Galils.
Absolutely. Looks like we are going to see somewhat of a default coming in from Cal this round, going for an outside smoke wall. Kelfroy taking space by red again.
Okay, the double wall comes down. Ralfoy is up close already, though. This guy has pushed in ramp. Great trade. Hamlet shutting down Cool Guy, saying this round 21 is all you get, and Krelfoy's aggression is going to be caught by Pander. So another advantage for the Brisket Bombers. They played it well last time to just group ramp and take B. This time, they've got choices on where to go, and again they're going to group ramp. Gillionaire up on this right wall, instantly fragged down.
Yeah, turning this into a 2v4 favoring Cow again. Getting the pick through garage. You know, this is starting to look pretty good for Cow. This kind of momentum and coordination throughout the rest of their T side.
I'm less worried about what they're going to do in rounds like this, where they're up against a buy, and what they're going to do in rounds where they're up against USPs and 5.7s and maybe one MP9 or a shotgun.
Yeah,
Because that's where it gets wacky.
Especially if I had Cool Guy's stat line and I see just about everybody on my team is running positive, I'm going to call for a couple of heat check rounds.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
send 5 through outside. Let's send 3 through lobby, 2 through ramp. Some kind of early aggression. Looks like we are going to see that right now, going for an outside push from DB.
Yeah, Gabe's gonna hear this. Say, guys, they're all here. Make contact. Only get one. Hamlet, what more can you do? They picked up an AK, and Hamlet splits the difference. Only gets one as well. Gun's given over. This round has the potential to do damage, but the real question is about the potential to win, because they only need one more on this. Can these no armored rifles do it? I don't think they're gonna save. Perhaps they elect to play it safe. Krelfoy's got an AK, so I guess there is no way to get that on the CT side. And they do it. Okay, okay. They're still
Definitely an
giving
interesting
respect.
save.
They're giving respect. This is the optimal play, but when you're feeling confident like the game's already over, oftentimes teams will still go for it anyway. So I like the fact that they say, okay, we respect you, we're going to save and try to have the best chances next round to close the game.
It's definitely a discipline save. Definitely the optimal save. But at some point, when you're up 12-4 and you got yourself in a 2v3, you both have rifles, it might make sense to go for that. But
You're an F it, we retake kind of guy?
sometimes, if I'm up 12-4, absolutely. And Nuke's my home map, so.
Okay. I see it.
But we will be getting a buy coming in from DB now. This should be a pretty passive play if I had to take a guess. But we'll see how DB decides to do it.
No op on the board just yet. So if this doesn't work out, I'd expect them to bring it in. Andrew on the other side, though, got this sniper. Spots one crossing red. Kelfoy, okay. That little head just over top of the glaive smoke, gonna afford them a pick. And Fury
Lux
makes
looking for the
contact, drops smartly. Yeah. I mean, Lux is just in a rough spot here because you want to try to get something to make up for that pick that you lost, but if you overextend, you're just giving Spectral Sentries everything that they've wanted. Brisket Bombers have to group up and do something, and the one place that it's worked has been going ramp, so they're going to return to Old Faithful and return to the awaiting arms of Cool Guy, AK in hand, playing a slower angle, a bit of an off angle, contact and damage, and Cool Guy just backs up. Playing it safe, dropping into B. And Cow has a choice to make. A choice that's going to be made for them because the door is closed behind. Joe has flanked all the way through outside, and now they have to commit to ramp.
Gabe is worried about this outside aggression coming through quick. They're kind of leaving him on an island here.
And now at this point, what are you going to do? You've got 30 seconds to get into a stacked B site. The other option could be to brute force through hell. And really, that is the one other option. Nades coming in towards B. Hamlet commits the bomb, drops into the dark. And Cool Guy, of course,
Holding
the
down
one
the fort.
to grab those frags. Yeah. Third one, why not? That is 24 frags for Cool Guy, and that is 13 rounds for the Spectral Sentries as they jump up to 4 and 3 here in Prospect. Brisket Bombers will, of course, live to fight on another day, but just today wasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't the match I was expecting to see, but definitely some good plays.
Yeah. Just I mean we saw some good ideas from the Brisket Bombers, but no one besides Gabe, unfortunately, just nobody else was really turning up. A couple rounds where one or two players would, but no one with the consistent fragging that could match the output that we saw from people like Cool Guy.
Yeah, they had some great early picks, but they just couldn't capitalize off of them. You know, uh,
Yeah.
it's just hard to do when the entire team doesn't show up. And that's not to throw any shade at Cow. They're a great team. They've got good ratings on all their players. It's just an off night for them.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you just never get going. Sometimes the other team just starts that momentum, and I mean, a 1v3 from Joe is going to be what closes it. That Glock up close, just it's so awkward when one player comes up vent with knife out but is sort of in front of the other player who's getting shot and not looking the right way. So the gun
Yeah.
goes down. The player with knife says, "I need to help." I only have a knife in my hand. What do? They start swinging, but now the pistols flick back to them, and at that point it's all over. Joe has made a miracle out of nothing, and Spectral Sentries, a great performance tonight. I would say it's been a pretty nice night, in Nuke.
It's always a nice night in Nuke, Fuffy.
That's true. It really always is. I appreciate you joining me for this nightly Nuke.
Hey, glad to be here. Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's a fun one, good one to get going, and of course we've got many more nights headed your way on the stream. Be it the matches this Thursday, any other reschedules, premiere on Monday, whatever it is, we'll be bringing you the action. I'm Fuffy, joined by my good buddy,
Mr. Cool.
and on the observing is Lepuki, aka Quattro. And I hope that you all have a great night, whether you're on Nuke or wherever else you may be.